Today I'm going to be making a 6-inch round backer using two designs. I have this periwinkle blue and then the ones that are going to be alternates that have some gold covering the periwinkle. So what you're going to notice on these backers, you see that they alternate. This is a solid black line, and then this one's dotted, solid, dotted, solid, dotted, and on around we go. And the reason that we do it this way is so that you can know that, okay, so one of our designs goes on this side, like on the solid line. That means that once I covered all the way around, I'm gonna want these to be on the alternating lines, which is the dotted line. So it makes it a little easier for you. So the other thing that you're gonna notice is that there's different types of lines. We've got stitched, we've got solid, and we've got dotted lines here. So that once you decide where you're gonna get started, you always know you're on the right line, right? I don't want you to, if they were all solid, you might be like, well, start over here and then end up on this one. So that's gonna give you some guidance as well. And then of course, the third thing we're gonna notice is that there's got this entrance in here so I can stick my stapler in here. And I don't have to be doing the weird maneuvers all the way around. So let's get started. I'm gonna go ahead and pick my dotted line as my starting point. And I'm gonna be using this as the main one that I'm gonna be using on this solid line. So I'm going to line it up and staple. All right, so this is the next solid line. You'll notice on the edges, we actually can't, right, go in here. So we'll just go around on this one. I go around this way now. It's easier to, for me, I hold it with my left hand and I staple with my right. I think that's easier for me. All right, so this one's gonna have to go through. And then finally on this one. That wasn't quite even, so I'm gonna give it another one. Okay, so we have our first 8, so now we're gonna do our alternate 8, which now I'm gonna be using the dotted line for that. I could glue them down. That's one option. But I'm gonna staple them. Just make sure that they're, yeah, that's what they're gonna look like. Let's see. Yeah, that's gonna work. Okay, make sure it's positioned where I want it to be. And what's nice about it is you don't always have to hold it from here. You can turn it from here, like from that opening. You can hold it and turn it if you're trying to avoid too much handling of the hoops or loops or bumps, as some people call them. This one turned on me a little bit. Okay. Okay, so we have our crown made with the amount of loops we want it to have. If you want to make it a little bit more complex, you can. You can add multiple layers, you know. For this one, I'm gonna keep it just with 2 layers. They look nice and even. And it took me about 7 minutes to attach all of these to the crown once the loops had been cut. So I decided I'm gonna start underneath this one. I usually make my first layer be the honeycomb, but what I do, as you can see, that this part kind of curves up. So this is gonna face where the ribbon is at, so it doesn't poke the back of the legs of the person who's wearing this. All right, so I'm gonna start down here. I always make mine a little curved. I don't make it straight, the edges. I like it to be a little bit more curved, but you know, that's just a preference. Periwinkle blue. And for this one, I'm gonna follow the edges of the honeycomb on the edges and then go straight down. And then I kind of use these to fill the gaps in that are left and to brighten up the color of the skirt. And then I'm gonna start putting the fancier ribbon on top. So this is just kind of the base. Some people don't do this, some people do, but that's how I like to do it. And since my crown has gold in it, I'm gonna make sure to try to include some gold as well. I'm gonna put some gold in the skirt. So it looks like I'm going to put it at +2, so I'll put one at -2 as well to keep it balanced. The middle. Just run it. Nice and balanced. And then I know that, well, let's see, I'm going to go ahead and do that here. I prepared some of these ahead of time. So I like including this clear, but I like to line it so that it's a little bit more visible. So this is the clear one. So I'll put one on one side. I think we'll be at -3 for this one, +3 for this one, and then -3 on this side. So obviously I had already done some pre-planning, which I encourage you, especially if you're a new mum maker, it doesn't hurt to do this. Again, this is not a must. These are preferences, but I kind of like that. Planning a little bit ahead of time. And you know, what happens is that after you start making them for a while, you already have an idea of what you like to include, and you just kind of have a general plan in your mind. That does change when you have a more complicated mum order, where you want to be very super highly customized, or that you requested specific things. That makes it a little different. Okay, so I'm going to be putting my homecoming hoops down the middle, but I'm going to put this right here, this sheer, so that it kind of is on top of the gold a little bit, on top of this gold. And then the homecoming will be on top of it right here, but it kind of peeks through and it's really nice. So let's see, this one kind of is going to be between +2 and -1. That's where it's going to be in the middle. So I'll make sure to do that on the other side as well. Between +2 and +1 is where I'm going to staple. Okay. I'll do this next one. -2 and -1, about right here. Then we're gonna put our homecoming loops down the middle. And I'm using the letters that I sell. These are the gold studded ones that are so pretty. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put my crown on the top to kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like. All right, so I'm going to line it up so that okay. All right, good. So now that's lined up. Okay. Yeah, that's good. So I'm going to move it down a little bit so that that hoop doesn't get on top of the H. We want to make sure that the whole word shows. And so this is where I have to staple it. This far down. And then the final thing I have are my 2 braids. I've got my victory braid. And I have my military braid. And so I'm going to put them, I think, at a +2 and a -2. Yep, I like that. That's what I'll do. So +2, -2. It's nice and balanced. Okay. And this one, yep. Okay, perfect. So that's what my skirt looks like right now. Right now, I'm about 13 minutes to put it together. And of course, probably would have been quicker if I wasn't stopping and showing. You know, so that's pretty quick. Once you have, you know, the guiding lines and you know what to do, it just goes by so much more quickly. So now I'm gonna line them up. No guessing, no attaching and removing. We're just gonna go ahead and go line up the squares together. And we're gonna staple. I'm going to go through. Okay. So now I've got my stapler ready to go. So I'm gonna readjust because you know at the very end it starts moving a little bit. All right, you see that? They're lined up and I staple. So I got my first staple in. I can come around, staple another time over here. I can do it over here as well. And if you want to go through and add some glue, you can underneath, but that's it, one time. Now we add the flower in here, and then we're going to cover up the back. All right, we need a round one that has no staples on it. So to cover up the staples, I'm bringing one of these lined ones, and you can just make your own too if you want. But for the sake of time, I'm going to use this. So I would glue this down. I'm not going to actually do it. I'm just showing you how it would look. Put this one down on top so now it covers all these staples. And then this is a blank one. All right, so that's what I'm going to use to cover this up right here. And then I put my business sticker. So I didn't do the flower portion, but obviously you would do that first and then you cover up. And that's what it ends up looking like.